People always ask me, how do you start a painting? Like, what do you do first? So I thought I would take you through a creative idea I had. I was in the fake flower section of Ben Franklin and I saw these poppies and I was like, oh, I want to paint a poppy. And I had no plan at all. I just bought this. It was $2. Perfect. Fits my price range. Boom. I brought it home. And so now I'm going to show you just like how to go through a creative process, I guess. So the first thing that happened when I brought this poppy over here was I noticed there was like this hard shadow that it made right onto the canvas. See how you can like really see the shape of the flower? So yeah, so just as a quick, I wonder if I can do this project. I'm gonna trace this shadow, try to match the colors on this, on the flowers, and then maybe use some paint pens for the leaves. But really, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to like get through a painting start to finish and enjoy it. And maybe discover some things along the way. Bonus if I end up liking the art, but that's not usually the main goal. It's to find something out, to learn something, to explore. So I had this flower and I was like, right when I put it on the table, I saw that shadow and I was like, whoa, cool, I'm going to trace that. And like really I'm not hesitating too much or trying to overthink it because I don't want to. So the stem is something like this. There's kind of like 3 different shapes I'm seeing. I just gotta get the basic shapes in there. It doesn't have to be, like, paintings don't have to be realism. Somebody needs to tell you that. I'm here to help. Paintings can just be explorations. Exploring shapes and colors. Learning what your brushes do. Learning what pencil under a painting does. So, wow, it's like not really giving me the exact thing I wanted. What if I just do that? Here, let me try this. Okay, that's a little bit better. So it's giving me like a defined line. There's my oblong shapes. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just the hint of what it is. And if everyone says, oh, I love your roses, don't correct them. Don't say they're poppies. Just say, thank you. Because like how you see your art and how everyone else sees it, it's different for each person. It's just like music. Some people want to dance to salsa music, and other people want to dance to dubstep. You know, and I think everything is correct when it comes to art and music. Okay. So now that I've preached about that, let's go. Boom! Anything close to poppies? Not really, but I say we go with it. Because I kind of like it. So now I want a color to go across this. Just barely. If you think just barely of a color, your instinct might be to be like, well, I'm just going to put a bunch of water on this and do a tiny bit of paint. There's a bunch of other ways you can just barely paint. You could add matte medium, which will make it go really clear and still hold the matte. It's still a little shiny though, but if you did ultra matte medium, oh, this stuff. It's literally looks like it's part of the gessoed canvas. It's so cool. I highly recommend ultra matte medium. Okay, so I wanted it to be super clear, so I'm just adding this much paint to all this matte medium. Because I just wanted like a hint of this color. It still looks like it's going to be pretty bright. I want to just get a color across this canvas. Maybe not even across the whole thing. We'll see. I'm just feeling my way across there. This is like the main area where I'm going to focus on getting some colors on there. Right now, I'm just trying to get paint across the canvas everywhere where I've drawn something. You don't have to do yours like I'm doing mine, but you absolutely can. So now that I've covered most, if not all, of my drawing, I know that when I paint something over it, this will be showing around it like a little halo, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is dry. Step one was pencil, get a sketch on there. Who cares if you can see it? We'll paint over it, is the school of thought. Then we covered all the pencil marks with a color so that when we paint over it, that will be like represented as a background. So now we're gonna start getting some of these like vines in here, right? Oh yeah. I could do that with a brush or paint pen. It's gonna be faster with a brush, so I'm gonna brush it. Highlight, shadow, and then if you mix a little bit of them together, that's how you get your easy way to get a mid-tone. All right, so I got a round brush. This is a really cheap one. Like, this is either dollar store or Five Below. The lighter color first. I'm just gonna trace some branches. I'm trying to cover my pencil marks, but I don't care that much. Some people care a lot about pencil marks. I think it's cool to see them. And I think if you don't look at the thing over and over again, it's more fun. You'll get like an interpretation of what it is. And then we had like some coming off this side. All I'm doing is mimicking the leaf shape a little bit. I'm pretty stoked with just the shapes that are coming on here. I'm just going to start mixing the darker color green into the yellow green. Just start mixing it and not really trying too hard. I'm just going to try to get some shadow colors in here. All I'm doing is finding somewhere on here that I think it doesn't look done and marking it and hoping that my mark improves it. And if not, it gets another mark. That's like the basis of a lot of my art making, is just kind of working backwards and covering things I don't like until it's things I only like. That kind of gives you more freedom to be messy in the backgrounds and explore. And if I do too much of the dark color, I'll just come back with that light color again. All I did was a couple green swooshies And then I did a different color green swooshies. I tried to follow like maybe what could be a shadow, but I don't really care. It's all about getting shapes and patterns on there. Now we're going to work on some flowers. Looking at this, I'm thinking the very bottom of this is like the undercolor is marigold. You only get like a little hint of it. So I was thinking I put this down, then maybe I get a little bit of that going. Maybe the very tips get a little bit of that. Anyway, I'm just trying to tell you my thought process because people ask me all the time, how do you know what to paint or how do you get through a painting? It's literally just one decision at a time. And I find that if you don't care if you're going to like it really or sell it or anything like that, you'll have more fun exploring to see what your stuff does. What does that brush do? What does this paint do? What does that do? Like right now, if I decided to do the flowers as super high gloss, I could just add airbrush medium to them or to the colors or gloss varnish. So there's all these different directions you can go every time you make a choice. You can be like, does it have to be perfect or can I just see what happens? Okay, let's do a flower. I'm just putting some flow here, which is like better than water. And I'm just going to try to get some shapes on here that I like. I'm not going to worry too much about the shapes. All I really want is colors and patterns. Like with most flowers, when you're painting them, if you just paint out each leaf, I mean petal or whatever, you know, that's the best way if you want to just hint to something instead of painting it exactly. Just say to myself, okay, poppies are 4 petals that are kind of round shaped. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And just counting it out, 4 petals on a poppy. And I don't really care how much it looks exactly like one. Boom, that's in there. Kind of feel like doing that. Okay, and then there's a couple ones that weren't unfolded, so they were like this long shape. All I'm doing is looking for areas where I feel like something's missing and I'm putting something there. That's the entire mindset I have right now. Anything that's going on that I just need something gets us something. Okay. Oh, I like it so much better. I need to get some of this marigold and this orange or this red in there because it's going to make it look so much cooler. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work. I just have a good feeling about it. Because all I wanted to do was like a little bit of a color, nothing crazy. And then like that. Like just a tiny bit at the very bottom. Hinting of poppy. If you ever took a watercolor class, the lighter something is, the further back it looks. So if I just do like a couple of whoopsies back here, just of this lighter color, it will really give some depth to the painting. And before these dry, I want to do the tiny little red tips. And I don't know if it's really red, but it looks red to me, so I'm going with it. Flow and cadmium red. Just the tips. So this is going to be like a full-on restraint. moment. And I'm sorry about the shine on here. I promise I'll get better at this. Just a tiny restraint. Like, because this darker color is going to really make it look like petals if you hit it right. Oh, I'm so stoked. I like this a lot. Let's do some final touches. How to make this feel finished. Right? How do I make this feel finished? Cadmium orange. Full strength. Petal. I'm just thinking petal, 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 petal. Doesn't have to be all of them. But these are poppies. This thing has got to read orange to me, not red. Okay. Maybe that was too much here, but whatever. We can always go back with red. Really tiny brush. See that? See how one little tiny stroke can just make it look like more or less of a poppy. Cool. Yeah, get that red in there. Okay, so now all I want to do is see if I have a darker green than these to just wrap this whole thing up together. Hooker's green. For all you hookers out there, no judgment. Okay, this is going to be like, hopefully, ultimate restraint. All I want to do is just add a couple interesting marks. You want to put like enough interesting marks that you think, huh, what's going on over there? But not so many that it's just overkill, right? So it's kind of like, oh, what's going on right there? Just there. Maybe like, oof, right there. Oh, that dot, I loved it. I'm going to do another dot. Just get some little tiny things in here for someone to go, what's going on over there, right? Oh, I like it. Okay, now let's finish this outside here, which I'm going to do something which I like to do. That might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm going to get some gesso out. This is gesso, straight out of the container. Gonna grab my trusty filbert and just be bold with this gesso. Why not? I need to break up this edge a little bit, and I don't want to outline it. So let's bring the white back in, right? So let's cover up. I have some pencil marks over here. And of course, I'm going to go to my trusty up and down, left and right marks, because those are like the magic. I can't explain it. They're like the secret sauce. And it's fun. Just brings up that little something like, huh, this right here, I can see a pencil mark here. What do I do? Let's cover it. Just, if you do leave gesso thick, this shadow mark here that you see here, when it dries, it'll always be there. So a lot of people will say when they see me do this, oh, I love how you left that gesso on there so I could see the shadow and the white. And like, I don't paint for other people, but I can say I agree on that level. I totally agree. Now, I am pretty stoked on this. I am pretty stoked on this painting. I love it. I want to look at it over and over again and go, what's going on over there? This is going to be pretty, I think, anywhere in my house, in like a cute little corner.